maybe for 2024, I should like enclose this area for when I'm working out here. I don't have to hear road noises. What's up, guys? Kyle with TK Speed Shop, and it's the first video of 2024, and I'm like a month behind. So let me catch you up and let me give you a briefing on what we're doing today and what we're going to be doing going forward in 2024. So let me run it back for like a month. I got sick. That sucked. Like sucked bad. Then, if you live in the South, we had this crazy ice storm out of the middle of nowhere. That sucked. And from there, I got enslaved at work. That's fun. Then I lost my GoPro. And then my GoPro does GoPro things like delete footage and corrupt files, and I had to freaking, like, I was able to extract some of my content, but not all of it, so I lost a good bit. So in this video, you're gonna see me in two different outfits. The one that I got on now, and one that I wore another day, because I was able to manage to scrape some of that stuff back before I ended up having to like reformat. But anywho, today we are going to be doing top end fuel system, and we're going to be laying out the groundwork for our ECU that we're going to be using on our LS Swap Monte Carlo. Let's get started. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's right, guys. I'm a sucker for small businesses. Don't get me wrong, I love Holley. I've heard people say that the Holley Terminator X changed their lives. I've heard their testimonies. But I am just a sucker for stuff like this. I follow these guys on Facebook. Then I started following them on YouTube, and I got to see like their little videos that they was making and meeting their team through the interviews on their YouTube. They was at SEMA, and around the holidays they had a sale going on, and I said, you know what, we might as well just take the leap in. So we're going to be running Aces fuel injection. We're running the Jackpot EFI system. And this is what we're going to be using on this. Now, you might be sitting here noticing that the carb intake's off. Yes. So, we're going fully EFI. We will not be doing trans controls for the time being. We're still got the Turbo 400 in the car. And what I plan on doing is running that until it goes. Okay? Not saying that there's anything wrong with the transmission, but my picture for this car is a 5-speed or 6-speed in the floor, banging through gears with this powertrain. That's what I want to do. So, anywho, we got the quality inspection checklist letting us know what we got. We got our warranty stuff, and we got this very nice detailed installation guide that we will not be using until we get stumped on something. That's super nice. Oh, super nice. So this is our ECU. Get up out of here. I want to mount this on the inside of the car, but I've been thinking if I could possibly mount it somewhere when we get fender wells in here. I might think of something like that, or I might mount this near, I don't know. But it comes with the ECU. We got a decal. Map sensor. Intake sensor. Yep, that's exactly what that is. So that's cool. We got our 5-inch touchscreen. I would have went with a 7-inch touchscreen, guys, but I'm gonna be using the dedicated gauges when we get all of this stuff situated on the inside of here. I kind of just want to use that to like measure things like fuel pressure and all that, you know, jazz, because we still got to get all the wiring in here situated. We got everything turned out. We did go through and put a painless kit in. So I don't necessarily like to record wiring videos because wiring videos are boring. There's only so many times that you can watch somebody do something like that, and let's just be honest, nobody wants to really see stuff like that. If you do, put it in the comment section down below. We could fucking make some relays, panel boards, any of that kind of stuff. Anywho, we got the wiring like turned all throughout the car, and it comes out up here. So eventually we'll work on that stuff. Back to the harness. So we got that. That's pretty cool. We got some bones, I'm assuming for the O2 sensors. Speaking of O2 sensors, we got 2 nice O2 sensors. Trying to keep it personal with you guys. And we got this harness. This harness is actually pretty goddamn nice, guys. Like the way they have all this stuff labeled and like cleaned up, like this looks really nice. Nice material. So we got this loose harness right here, which it says everything that it goes to. But I guess let's go ahead and sprod this out on the car, and then as we go along with all of this, I'll kind of give you guys like some updates of what we got going on for 2024. I guess we're going to start with these O2 sensors. Okay. Let's talk about 2024. So, my plan for 2024 is to become a much more consistent YouTuber. And what I mean by that is this month's a perfect example, guys. Even though I haven't had the best of luck with schedule or any of that stuff, that kind of crap's unfair to you guys, you know? That O2 snuck right on in there, didn't it? That's unfair to you guys. You guys shouldn't have to deal with that. That's on me. I'll take blame. I'll take responsibility. Okay? So, with that being said, I went rescued one of my project vehicles that I've had for like 6-7 years. It's actually my dream vehicle, or one of, you know, we all got those. But I went re-rescued it. I bought this vehicle and I stashed it away and I collected like some parts for it. And I kind of just forgot, guys. Time catches up, especially when you're a car guy and you got like 15 million different vehicles going on. What's crazy is that everything that I'm doing to this car is what I wanted to do to this vehicle. And I look back now, the amount of time that I've had that vehicle and the amount of time that I've had this vehicle, I could have had that one on the road, dialed in, going to drive events, doing cruising the coast, burnout comp. I could have been doing all of that stuff. And I just kind of got lost, you know? Anywho, that got dark all of a sudden, and I'm not trying to go there. But with that being said, that vehicle, we're gonna make a dedicated playlist. And what I'm gonna do is every time that I get any part, any kind of thing, anything going on that car, we're gonna upload a video on it. It could be 2 minutes long, 5 minutes long, 10 minutes long, 15 minutes long. A step-by-step build of this car, because this car is so raw that I can do it. This car was raw, but along the way of doing this, that, and the other, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, when I posted this car on the channel for the very first time, I felt really, really, really good about it, and then I got discouraged because I didn't get the initial views and stuff that I wanted. This car was the first video that I posted that I actually got discouraged on. So I kind of did a lot of this stuff off camera because I felt like you guys would want to see that. But after thinking it over after all this time, it's my YouTube channel. If you guys like something, you like it. If you don't, you don't, you know? As much as I want to do stuff that you guys will like, I also got to do stuff that I like as well. Where is there it is right there. Anyway, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you guys that car. And let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think? Because it's here to stay. Oh, I've already spent so much money on it. This harness is okay in pieces. So this is a coil bank harness, which means I have another coil bank harness over here somewhere. Okay, so that's my other coil bank harness. And now I have to unravel this stuff. This is a separate harness? IAT, map, throttle position, IAT, IAC. Okay, so this is also a separate harness. See, I thought this was all just one big honking harness, but all this stuff is separated. That's phenomenal. Let's see here. Which one is this? Uno momento. It's getting dark, so I want to go ahead and just show you guys this project car before it gets any darker. So boom. If you know these taillights, you know what it is, but I'm gonna say it anyway. This is a 1977 Buccaneer red triple black interior color Trans Am, and I bought this like 5, 6, 7 years ago, guys, and it looks a lot worse than what it did. So I used to keep it clean. I had it put up for a while, and then I pulled it out because we ended up moving down south, and then it sat outside, and it just one thing after the other, and I'm kind of upsetty spaghetti about it. Yeah, there's a lot that needs to be done about this, but yeah, we're just gonna shut that back. What I plan on doing for 2024 with that car is, whenever I feel like I don't have enough time for content, because I'm going to be working on that car throughout all my projects throughout the entire year. My goal is to have that car running and driving under its own power by December. So I already got a motor for it. When I do the actual video on that car, the first video, we're going to test fit that motor because it's in a stage now to where I can just do anything with it. We are going to do like the 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20-minute episodes, and it's going to be my gap fillers. That way there's always content going on my page, because I want to be consistent. And just because I failed to show you every step of the way on this, I will not fail on showing you every step of the way on that Trans Am. And who knows, that might be what take us to the next limit in 2024. Now back to this. So I just went ahead and untangled all the little harnesses that was in that big ball of wire mess that I had, and I went ahead and took my coil packs off on each side because I wanted to wipe all that stuff down. We'll eventually change these out because I want to run one of those breathers, and I don't want to use this setup, but for the time being, instead of spending more money, we're just going to run this for now. But the reason why I took those off is it comes with its own harness. So let me get back and let me throw this harness on here. Okay, now that you didn't have to watch me do that for like 30 freaking minutes, this harness is a little bit more stiffer. So I'm gonna let this like slow cook for the time being on the top end, and we'll zip tie all that stuff in place when we finally get our final, go aheads. Anyway, I got a sensor harness, my map and all that harness, and then my injector harness. So what I've already installed is my coil pack harnesses, my crank and cam, which I crawled up underneath the vehicle. You didn't have to see all that. And I spread this harness out. So what I'm about to do now is we're about to swap over to the intake that we're running, and then we're going to put the fuel rails on, and then I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit of why I just chose this. And there's a couple things that I need to order, and I'll explain why, but we're gonna go ahead and mock all this stuff up as we go through it. So that's right, I like these ugly intakes. This is the TBSS intake, best cathedral port stock intake you can have. They get a bad rap for being ugly, but they are proven, and I'm cheap. But I wasn't cheap enough to spring for a new one. Can't have ugly stuff, guys. And for a fuel system, we're going to be running Holley. You probably can't even see the strap. We're going to be running these Holley rails. Now, these are 42-pound used injectors that I've already cleaned. Insert footage here that was deleted but recovered. As you saw that I made those injectors brand new. In the data that I lost, I had put all this stuff together, and you don't get to see that. So that freaking sucks. But anywho, we're gonna hang those injectors out right there. And here's the other rail. Now, I got this exiting out on the driver's side. Now, I did have it hanging out on the passenger side. Input missing footage number 2. Well, I see an issue number one. Transmission dipping stick. Not wanting to cooperate over here. So we're gonna have to do something about that. But as you can tell, we had issues with the dipping stick. So at that point, I stepped myself back and I had like a mental health check, and I just swapped the ends over. You don't have to run it on the passenger side, guys. When you're building that car completely from scratch, you can kind of do whatever you want. And I didn't realize that until about 15 minutes into my mental health check. And if you haven't noticed, this sensor is also from this Aces fuel injection kit. This is going to monitor my fuel pressure through the little touch screen in there, so I know how much fuel pressure I got. And before you guys say, I don't see any regulator on your rails. Correct. You don't see a regulator on my rails because I am running the Holley EFI muscle car fuel pump module thingamabob. It self-regulates at 58. I want to test it out. We got the 340. I'm going to be doing a video on that in some point in the future where I put the gas tank in this and then we finish running the lines. But I'm getting way ahead of myself. But we're going to be using that, and if we have any issues, then I can make a follow-up video and tell you guys do's and don'ts of doing LS swaps. Anyway, let's get this intake on, get these injectors on, and then I can route these pop harnesses on top of that to make it look neat. Oh goodness, nothing I love more than living off a highway. Come here, you. Alright. Well, you know, if I take this tape off, then we'll be doing something. Alright. Now, my one complaint so far about this Aces EFI, and it's not even really a complaint, I'll bring you in. These ground wires they give you, they're very short. We're going to have to extend those on both sides. Or, it could just be that I routed this in an awkward way. So, keep that in mind. Now, make sure that all those wires are up out the way. All of those wires are up out the way. And all this stuff's gonna get tough, so I'm not even worried about it. Nothing is colliding with anything. Is that it? Is that? Nope. Nope. Am I missing something here? Up. Now this side too high. Something's not sitting firmly on this. I can see that. I don't like that. I think it has something to do with the I think it has something to do with the little cushiony things that you put up underneath these intakes, but we don't care. Just sit. Do it for me. That side is good and this side is not. What is hanging up? What is the issue? Why won't you sit level? I bet you if I took those cushion things out, let's see. One cushion. Two cushions. Now let's try this. Wow. It's on. Feels like a glove now. Didn't mean to do that on camera. Well, I guess we're not running the cushiony things. No bueno. And I think the only reason why these are no bueno is because I'm running the 4-corner steam port system and I'm running it down low, so it's having to, maybe if I like trim the section out exactly where it's at, then it'll fit properly with these on there. But I do fully intend on running some of the wiring up underneath this if I have to, so best to have these out. Alright, since we're going to do that, we're going to take our injector harness and we're going to tuck them. Probably need to go ahead and throw bolts in this intake before I knock it off. But we're going to take this rail and we're going to set him up over here. Now, this is what I have to order. There is a adapter that adapts this down up underneath this so we don't get wobbly. Again, we're mocking up, so it doesn't really care, but I've already made a note of this and I have ordered that part. You probably won't see me put it on the video, just know, make sure rail bolted. Vroom. Okay, so now that we got our rails on, we're starting to actually look like a top end. So let me go get some bolts. I'm just gonna throw one in each corner just so this intake won't come off, and then we're about to start laying injector harnesses and we go from there. Ouch. I can't wait to get tires on this so I can get this thing back on the ground. We bought rims for the car. Why buy tires, you know? Overrated. Okay. That one's loosely threaded. I got one of these crossover boys. It's gonna cross over the fuel making happen and stuff. Bring you guys in. Really can't see it, but it's there. I got a lot of crap going on right here. Not a big fan of that, but that's pretty nice. That harness is gonna have to get extended back there. All right, so we have that O2 sensor and this O2 sensor. I purposely got these up out the way for the time being because we don't know how this harness is going to lay out on here. Now, as far as all this stuff goes, again, guys, we're going to tuck all this stuff. So for the time being, that stuff can hang out. So let's start with the injector harnesses. So this is 7531. So that's going to go on this side. And this is 2468. So number 2. So again, it's not really a lot going on, but it's a lot going on. So, see how we got all that stuff ran through there? That's a lot of wiring, but it's kind of contained. So, we'll take that. Alright, what's next? This says sensors. Does this plug into this perhaps? It does. Well, I'll be dipped. This one got a big end connector on it. I mean, they all kind of got the same goddamn connectors on them. Is there a difference? Let's see. Aces fuel injection, Aces fuel injection. Are these both the same? Sensors. So map, throttle position, IC, yada 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 yada. These are the exact same harnesses. Huh. Is one longer than the other or something? Map, yeah, that map sensor is way longer than that one. Oh, these are identical then. Okay. So I'm gonna assume that this bolts into this. Presto. And now we're gonna take this map sensor, and that map sensor is gonna hang out back. This is gonna come all the way up front, and this is gonna be my throttle positioning and all that shit positioned on this side of the thingamabobber. Okay, and then my map will come way up here and hang out here, because my map sensor is gonna go right there. Or I can try this one, and if I plug this one in, that brings the map all the way up here. Here, and idle air. This one's too short. We're not going to use this one. So this is another harness that we're not going to use. So we'll just sit in like that. So judging by this harness, we got the throttle positioning, the IC, and the IAT all up here. So that's good. So that's kind of where these are going to end up at. So they're going to end up in the front. We're going to take this harness and we're just going to wrap him up here, because he's going to come out up here. Perfect. Kind of sucks that I got to take all this crap back apart once, you know, we get the adapters for the rails. Anywho, all that stuff taken care of. Let's look at the big harness. This is the harness that I kind of don't want to dive into until we get all this stuff squared away. This harness is the loose wires. I got a fuel pump relay. Well, I'll be the plug-in for the ignition. I mean, I can probably, let's see. Let's see how this is going to look. So this is injector harness. So did I hook those up wrong? I hooked something up wrong. I did hook something up wrong. Okay. And this is why we have footage. Okay. So boom. This injector plug that I put in right here, the one that says sensors, that is incorrect. Okay. So let's take these sensor wires and tag them off again. Alright, so this harness right here is injectors. So with that one being injectors on this main harness, it goes into this harness that says injectors. So let's just kind of toss that up there. This is part of the harness that I'm probably going to hate because of how much crap is loose. Okay. So we're going to plug injector into injector because they're labeled and I just can't fucking read apparently. So injector into injector. Gotcha. Then this one over here says sensors. So what I'm thinking is from here, because this one says cam crank. So that's going to plug into that one way back here, which is that one. Well, here's my issue then. that goes like that. This is knock sensor, but we're not worried about engine knock. This is fuel. So this is clearly the back of the harness, which means it's going to route out this way. But my problem, okay, this extra bolt, they could have found a way to separate that a little bit better. So I have an ignition 1357, and then I also have ignition 2468. Okay, so let me take this spaghetti mess off real quick. I'm going to show you guys what's going on and why it's going on. This is why we test fit things. So, big ass harness, okay? This is routed directly to the back. Now look at this. Ignition 2468, ignition 1357. What's the problem here? The problem is that both of these wires are very short. There is no physical way that I can get this wrapped on the back side of the motor like a traditional harness. That being said, that means that these ground wires are actually correct. The same ones I was complaining about. They're correct because these aren't supposed to mount the same like they would on a traditional setup. They're supposed to be directed towards the back. I think. I don't know. We're trying to make sense. Unless this harness just lays on the top and I'm just fucking stupid. But I digress. Let's figure this out. Yep, feel like an idiot. So, first and foremost, I want to say I am sorry, Aces Fuel, that I criticize your ground cables. I'm a man of my word, and, you know, when I see that I made a mistake, I'll own up to it. So, I like the design even better this way. So, on a traditional LS swap harness or any LS harness, you notice that these always sit in this little bank right here, okay? Well, I should have known better. I've done plenty of LS related stuff, and not all LSs have that right there. Instead of routing it like that, 2, 4, 6, 8. Look at this. This is in the back now. So it'll go right behind the intake, just like that harness is routed, and it gives you plenty of room for you to apply your ground. And this is also why I loosely bolted the intake on, because we always test fit stuff before we do any final. So I apologize. So far, I'm loving this. I do think that main harness is hella bulky, but you get brownie points for wrapping it up so nicely and pretty that, you know, I'm just gonna overlook all of that. So let me get this intake off. I guess I'm gonna route this stuff back, and for the time being, we're just gonna call it a video. It's getting pretty late, it's getting pretty long, and I don't have to smash all this into one video, guys. So let's get this intake back off. Let's get this harness swapped around and be done. I didn't take the intake off. So yeah, you saw me time lapse. So I pretty much had to drop the coil off because I had it tucked up underneath there. Now we have this big gaping bald spot, which this will be irrelevant once I buy, you know, valve covers and shiny stuff for the future. But to get it going, that's fine. With them ran like this, you see how much of a cleaner look that is. So I mean, that's nice. So we're gonna put all this stuff back up. We're gonna crack into this part of the harness, another video, because now it's getting cold again. And I've done a lot of talking today, and I don't know if you guys are whatever. If you stayed through the video this long, I appreciate you, man. It's just trying to get back in the groove, and after all these unfortunate events that kept occurring over and over and over, it's just, I needed this, guys. So if you haven't already, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, like, drop a comment down below. Are you excited about the 77? Are you excited to see that we actually got progress done on the LS swap Monte Carlo? I mean, I could keep going on and on and on, but we're gonna call it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget, like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and I'm gonna be a better person for 2024 for you guys. I'm gonna try to be more consistent. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Kai out.